My dear brothers and sisters, have you ever laid down at night with a heavy heart, worried about tomorrow, anxious about your risk, or uncertain about what the future holds? Imagine if I told you that before you close your eyes, you could whisper a beautiful name of Allah that carries the power to transform your night into peace and your morning into abundance. This is not a secret formula of wealth, nor some worldly trick. It is a timeless gift from the Asma-ul-Husna, the beautiful names of Allah, that 99% of Muslims overlook. Reciting this special name before sleeping can open doors of sustenance, blessings, and barakah in ways you never imagined. Tonight, I want to share with you the spiritual key that has brought countless believers relief, rizq, and serenity by the time they rise at Fajr. Stay with me. You don't want to miss this. 1. Introduction to Asma-ul-Husna. The Asma-ul-Husna, or the beautiful names of Allah, are among the greatest treasures gifted to humanity. Each name reflects a unique attribute of Allah, allowing us to connect with Him in different ways, according to our needs and circumstances. When a believer calls upon Allah through His names, it is not merely an act of remembrance, it is a key to unlocking divine mercy, protection, guidance, and provision. The Quran itself highlights the importance of these names, and to Allah belong the best names, so invoke Him by them. Surah Al-A'raf 7:180. This verse teaches us that calling upon Allah with His specific names is a way to draw closer to Him and seek blessings tied to those attributes. For example, when we seek forgiveness, we call upon Al-Ghafar, the ever-forgiving. When we need healing, we call upon Ash-Shafi, the healer. And when we are in need of sustenance, we call upon Ar-Razzaq, the provider. What makes the Asma-ul-Husna so profound is that they do not only represent names, but also embody the essence of Allah's limitless qualities. They remind us that Allah is not distant, but near to His servants, always ready to respond when called upon sincerely. Each name is like a door. When recited with awareness and faith, it opens a unique pathway to divine help and blessings. For centuries, scholars and righteous believers have taught that reciting certain names at specific times brings peace, strength, and abundance into one's life. This is not superstition, but a spiritual practice rooted in the understanding that Allah has promised to be close to those who remember Him. Through His names, we strengthen our relationship with Him and discover the endless treasures hidden in dhikr. 2. The secret name of Allah for Rizq. Among the countless names of Allah, there are some that directly connect to the concept of sustenance, provision, and abundance. Two of the most powerful in this regard are Ar-Razzaq and Al-Ghani. Ar-Razzaq means the provider of sustenance, the one who ensures every creature, whether human, animal, or plant, receives what it needs to survive. Al-Ghani means the self-sufficient, the rich, reminding us that Allah is free of need, while all of creation is entirely dependent on Him. When a believer recites these names with sincerity, they are not just asking for material wealth, but seeking the infinite generosity of the one who owns all treasures of the heavens and the earth. What makes these names so spiritually profound is the way they shift a believer's mindset. By calling upon Ar-Razzaq, a person acknowledges that their risk does not come from their employer, business, or circumstances, but from Allah alone. This removes fear of loss and builds reliance on the true source of provision. Reciting Al-Ghani reminds the heart that Allah's richness is limitless, and He can enrich anyone without measure. Such remembrance elevates a person's hope and frees them from worldly anxieties. Scholars have often mentioned that repeatedly invoking these names before sleep places the believer under Allah's special care. By surrendering one's needs to Ar-Razzaq and Al-Ghani, the night becomes a time of trust, and the morning often arrives with unexpected doors of provision being opened. Many righteous people have experienced this as a lived reality. Opportunities, relief, and barakah flowing into their lives in ways they never imagined. This practice is not about mere repetition of words, but about aligning the heart with the attributes of Allah. When a servant remembers Him through His names, Allah responds with generosity far beyond human expectations. 3. How to recite before sleeping. The way a believer approaches the remembrance of Allah matters just as much as the words themselves. When reciting a blessed name of Allah before sleep, preparation of both the body and soul enhances the impact of the dhikr. It begins with a state of purity. Performing wudu not only cleanses physically, but also prepares the heart for connection with the divine. Lying down with the intention of surrendering the night to Allah makes the act more than a ritual. It becomes a moment of deep reliance and trust. The recitation should be carried out with focus and calmness. Rather than rushing, one should softly repeat the chosen name with awareness, letting each word sink into the heart. The tongue utters the dhikr, but the heart should be engaged in reflecting upon Allah's greatness. For example, while repeating Ya Razzaq or Ya Ghani, one should keep in mind that Allah is the ultimate source of abundance and richness. This mental focus transforms a simple act of remembrance into an intimate dialogue with the Creator. It is also beneficial to recite a consistent number of times, such as 100, 313, or even more, depending on personal capacity. After completing the dhikr, the believer can raise their hands in dua, presenting their needs and hopes directly to Allah. Breathing gently over oneself or over the pillow is a symbolic way of seeking Allah's blessings to cover the night ahead. Finally, one should fall asleep with full conviction that Allah has heard and accepted their remembrance. The night then becomes a shield of peace, and the morning carries the fragrance of barakah. Such nightly dhikr transforms ordinary rest into an act of worship, drawing unseen blessings into every aspect of life. 4. Spiritual effects. When a believer recites the blessed names of Allah before sleeping, the effects extend far beyond material gain. The first and most profound effect is an inner sense of tranquility. As the heart repeats Allah's names, worldly worries begin to fade, and the soul experiences a calmness that allows for deeper, more restful sleep. This peace itself is a form of rizq, for not everyone who lays their head on a pillow finds true rest. Another spiritual outcome is the strengthening of tawakkul, complete trust in Allah. By ending the day in remembrance, the believer shifts their reliance from worldly means to the Creator of all means. This nurtures faith and reduces fear of poverty or uncertainty about the future. Such trust becomes a powerful shield, protecting the heart from despair and filling it with hope, even in difficult times. Regular recitation also attracts divine barakah. Provision may not always appear as money, but in ways that transform daily life, such as good health, harmony in relationships, or success in tasks that seemed beyond reach. This unseen blessing often manifests as ease in affairs, timely opportunities, and protection from unnecessary losses. Moreover, nightly dhikr strengthens the bond between servant and Creator. Each repetition is like knocking on the doors of mercy until they are opened wide. With time, the believer notices a shift in spiritual awareness. The heart becomes more alert during the day, sins feel heavier, and good deeds bring more joy. Finally, there is a hidden effect known only to those who practice it consistently, a sense of being personally cared for by Allah. Waking at Fajr with unexpected openings in Rizq is not only provision, but also a sign that Allah has placed His special attention upon the believer. 5. Reminder of intention. Whenever a believer engages in dhikr, especially by invoking the names of Allah, the purity of intention determines the weight of that remembrance. The heart must be clear about why the name is being recited. If the sole purpose is worldly gain or immediate wealth, the act risks losing its spiritual depth. But when the intention is to seek Allah's pleasure, barakah, and closeness, the recitation becomes a form of worship that brings both worldly and eternal rewards. It is important to remember that Rizq is far broader than financial provision. Wealth is only one aspect of it. Rizq includes health, the ability to breathe with ease, loving family ties, peace of mind, righteous children, opportunities for learning, and above all, contentment of the heart. Many people possess wealth but lack satisfaction, while others with modest means live in serenity and joy. Thus, the believer should set an intention not only for increased provision, but also for Allah's blessings to permeate every part of life. A sincere intention also means aligning the tongue with the heart. The lips may utter the name of Allah, but the heart must remain present, filled with gratitude and humility. Before sleeping, one can make the niyyah. O Allah, I call upon you through your beautiful names, not only for Rizq, but for your mercy, guidance, and nearness. Such clarity of purpose transforms a simple recitation into a powerful act of devotion. Finally, keeping the intention pure guards against impatience. If results appear quickly, one thanks Allah. If they are delayed, one trusts that Allah's wisdom is greater. By doing so, the believer ensures that every recitation is a step towards spiritual elevation, not just a means of material gain. Alhamdulillah, now you know the secret name of Allah that can transform your nights into a source of blessings and your mornings into overflowing rizq. Remember, consistency and sincerity are key. Call upon Allah with your heart fully present and trust that He will respond in ways you cannot imagine. May Allah fill your life with barakah, ease your struggles, and open doors of sustenance you never thought possible. If this video benefited you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Intellect Deen. Comment below, barakah in my life, and make this positive dua with us today.